Hey, everybody, it's the NBA Finals, and I am Tony George, and he is Sean Salisbury, host of the Sean Salisbury Show on iHeartRadio, and, of course, over at Twitter. Always a great Twitter follow at Sean Unfiltered. And, Sean, we've been saying throughout the playoffs, talking about the playoffs for the last 2 months, basically, on these videos. All along, at least in your mind, you thought that Phoenix was the best team in the NBA. Now they're in the finals against the Bucks. Do you still feel the same way?
I do. They haven't got here by chance. They've taken care of their business and handled it against some good teams along the way. And I know people are going to say, well, this guy was hurt in different series. But they put him away. You don't control that. It happens in every sport, baseball, basketball, football, and you got to take care of your business all the time. Now, with Milwaukee in this series, I'm so impressed with what they've done and raised the elevation of the other guys, like when I say the other, Middleton and Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez, stepping their game up when their best player's been down. That's hard to do. Other teams we've seen that Phoenix played haven't done it. Now, will Milwaukee step up depending on how much you get from Giannis in this series, if you're going to get any, and how healthy will he be? I do believe the Suns are. I think they've got great leadership. Tony, when I think about this team, I believe 2 years ago they had 19 wins. 2 years ago. So Chris Paul and Monty Williams are culture changers. And then they've got a great supporting cast and shoot. They're going to have to shoot well. And I would not count Milwaukee out at all, even if Giannis, depending on how often he goes and depending on how healthy he is, because they've survived the pressure without him. And that's something to be said. The key I'm looking for early for Phoenix in this is a quick start, because when you've been off as long as they have, you can get to the point where you're kind of looking around saying, okay, let's take a little time. You do not want to be at home going down one and on the road. I like Phoenix in the series. I like Phoenix in the game. I don't know, Tony, it's still at -6 for the Suns at home? I don't like that. That's a lot of points. And I think Milwaukee's playing with a lot of confidence and believes they can survive some of it without the big fella or his health and Giannis. I actually like Phoenix to win the series. I like Phoenix if you're taking a money line to win the game. But I'm taking Milwaukee in this one. I think it's going to be closer than 6 points. I think they hang around. The Suns will win, but on the betting part of it, you're giving me 6 points. I'm taking Milwaukee, even though it's in Phoenix. And Phoenix is going to win this series all the way through. I don't think it gets to 7 games.
Okay, Phoenix is laying -190 series price, Milwaukee +160. And Sean likes the Suns. You could say the same thing about Milwaukee that they're saying about Phoenix. Well, you know, James wasn't 100%. Davis was out for crucial games in that series. They got to play the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. You know, you're going to hear that. Also, bear in mind,
Trae Young wasn't healthy, right? Against Milwaukee, Trae Young wasn't fully healthy. Agreed.
Yeah, the Bucks same way, and the Nets weren't healthy.
Right.
When they beat the Nets. I mean, so both these guys, okay, so you both got here. If the layman's term narrative is, well, they both got here because they played teams with one arm tied behind their back and you don't know who the best team is. You start looking at depth. You start looking at coaching. Well, both those benefit Phoenix in this matchup. Depth and coaching, without question. Yep. Now, Holiday is the only player in the arena that's ever been to an NBA Finals, and that was last year. The rest of them, you have a very young, inexperienced team outside of Chris Paul for Phoenix. You could almost say the same thing about Milwaukee. I listened to an expert today doing a podcast that is very close to Milwaukee. And he doesn't expect to see Giannis, although the rumors will float because he's one of the best players in the league, probably until Game 3. And if you do see him at Game 3, it'll be limited minutes. And it's not going to help that much. As a matter of fact, it might disrupt them.
Yeah, at this stage, yeah. Tony. I mean, you want your best player, but sometimes if it's you kind of got him in, kind of don't have him in, it's not all in. The flow of what they've been doing offensively, and I think you meant, and not Drew Holiday, but Crowder's the only one who was in the finals. That was last year, in the bubble. Yeah. Otherwise, there's no rings flowing. No, I know what you meant. I just wanted to make sure, because I don't
Yeah.
think New Orleans made it last year, or Crowder in the bubble with his.
Yeah.
I think with New Orleans, he came to Milwaukee this offseason, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So, but yeah, Crowder, and they lost. So,
Yeah.
Tony, you're 100% correct about the flow of this thing, and your inside information about Giannis. It definitely favors, because the Suns are, and I think Barkley said this earlier in the series, or maybe no, it was Dan Patrick who said this a series or so ago. It really comes up by who's the most healthy team standing at the end. And it may very well be that case. And right now, the Phoenix Suns are that team, because their stars will be out in full force in this series.
Okay, so Sean, we both like Phoenix for the series. I already bet them. I bet them to win it back when they started playing the Clippers to win it all. But
Nice.
let's go ahead and break this down. Sean likes the Bucks tonight, Phoenix for the series. I've got a premium play in the totals over at Doc, so I'm going to leave that alone. But let's talk about the games, the series games. If anybody was to sweep, it would be this is Suns. Suns in 4 plus 700. Suns in 5 plus 250. Suns in 6 or 7 games would be plus 190. You think this goes 7 games?
I got Suns winning it in 6, my friend.
There you go.
I have the Suns winning it in 6.
There you go, folks. That's it. Game 1, NBA Finals. Sean Salisbury. Find me over at DocSports.com. Free $60. Link in the description below. And you can find Sean every day over at iHeartRadio with the Sean Salisbury Show. Sports talk at its absolute finest. Be sure and tune in. Thanks for tuning in today. Enjoy Game 1 of the NBA Finals.